We're joined now by Doctors Jerry and Nancy Jaax. They truly will understand the need for control. They were part of the military medical team that contained the Reston Ebola incident, chronicled in the best-selling book, The Hot Zone, as well. You have continued to do a great deal of work on these issues, and we appreciate your being back with us, Dr. Jaax. Let's talk first about this notion of a rapid response team. Is this the way to go? Is this what should have been done when we first heard about Eric Duncan's arrival in Dallas?
Well, in my opinion, I think that should have been done. The situation with Mr. Duncan, where we had one confirmed case, it would seem to me that having experts who were familiar with biocontainment and with the infection control should have been on the scene. That's easy enough for me to say, but I think that, since we didn't have a number of patients, we should have been able to do that.
Nancy Jaax, you were also a veterinarian, also a doctor, also the person who was responsible for really directly handling the bodies of the monkeys who are affected by the Reston Ebola virus. When you look at what's happening here and the shortcomings, as the president has acknowledged, that have been made, do you have a sense of the risks that the health officials don't seem to understand in the human public health community?
Well, I think you always have, anybody that works with this virus has a real appreciation for the risk, and I think it's difficult to appreciate the risk initially because the virus, the information that's being given out is correct. The virus is not aerosol, it's not highly contagious, but it is definitely infectious. It is extremely easy to establish an infection, and training is very important. How to don material, how to doff material, how to handle it, how to surface decontaminate your gloves, your gowns, all of that is something if you don't train routinely, you lose. And so it's an issue called training decrement. If you're not doing it all the time, your training degrades.
So the kinds of biocontainment units, I mean, they do operate at level 4, at the highest level in terms of contamination, preventing contamination?
Yes, and so when we went to Reston, for instance, we established what we believe to be a field biosafety level 4. And talking about the training and the SWAT teams that we're discussing, that was one of the things that was a very, very important part of our response. Even though it was an emergency response, we had no idea that Ebola was on the horizon at all. It was completely out of the blue. We assembled teams of experts similar to the ones that you're talking about, the world's experts really on Ebola. And that was one of the reasons that we had a very successful outcome in Reston.
And Colonel Jackson, it is said that you have to have so much care, and even somebody with a supreme focus on trying to do the safest thing possible. While you were involved in the Reston Ebola case, you did have a moment where you might have been infected, a hole in your glove, as I recall.
That was a different situation. I was actually at USAMRIID in the BL4 laboratory containment, and there we wear the spacesuits with the external umbilicus. And I was doing a necropsy. Gloves and latex break down occasionally, and I looked down. I was doing an autopsy, a necropsy, and I had my exterior latex glove had given way near the ring of the suit. And I had actually gotten blood down inside of that suit, inside of that glove. That is correct.
And even in the most careful of situations, somebody who knows well that these things can happen. We appreciate both of you being with us, Doctors Jerry and Nancy Jaax. Thanks so much.
Thank you.
With